Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade, man. We got Bata Esteca over here, man. AJ, I have a question for you off the bat. During George St. Pierre's historic 12 title defense run that spanned 10 years from 2007 to 2017, he won 8 of those fights via decision. And a lot of people called him very boring, right? We appreciate him now, but during the time it was boring and it was like, oh, what are we talking about? We don't want to see this anymore. He only had 4 submissions or knockouts in that run. If Shevchenko, is Valentina Shevchenko headed towards that GSP territory with a very convincing win here on Saturday, man? She's got 3 knockouts, or 3 decisions, 2 knockouts so far. And it looks like she's unbeatable. Nobody can even get to her level. Like, this is a true testament of there's levels to this thing. So what do you think about that? You think she entering the GSP territory?
Yeah, I do. I really do think she is because, man, she's, besides Amanda Nunes, she's been basically untested. Not like almost untouched even, she really, Jennifer Maia gave her a little bit of trouble in the second round of her last fight, but man, Shevchenko is just looking so dominant that it's like you said, kind of how GSP was, where he's a little boring. Like, sure, he's still putting people out, hurting people, but not like he used to be. Not like even the lady I just mentioned, the Lioness, man, she's putting people out. Yeah. So you see Valentina Shevchenko just piecing people up, having a nice little sparring sesh, kind of just point fighting, not really looking like she cares or like is under pressure to win. She's just out there having a nice little Sunday walk. It kind of makes the fans a little boring. I do think she needs to, I don't know. I have it in my notes. I think she needs to step up and, get up in some weight and fight the Lioness again, because there's no way Amanda Nunes is coming down. But it's hard when you've been so dominant that people don't even really remember. And I think she almost fell into that kind of trap against Jennifer Maia where she thought like, this isn't even a fight. This is, it's all good. And then kind of got a little in trouble in the second round. She was on her back. She was struggling a little bit, ended up getting it out, doing what Chev does and pieced her up. But it's hard to say, man. What do you think?
Well, first, I like what you said, man. You said it's like almost like she hasn't even been in this ain't even a fight, right? Joe Rogan, he said it famously. I wrote this down because I liked it so much. He was like, Valentina Shevchenko hasn't been in a fight in a long time. He's like, we view these matchups as basically like walking executions, right? Like, who are we feeding to Shevchenko next? Oh, okay, she got to eat. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's killer's row out there, right? But what I think was so impressive about that fight against Jennifer Maia is that she pulled the John Jones approach, right? So what did John Jones do against, I think it was Dominic Reyes? He was basically like, I'm going to fight you at your own battle. Or it was Thiago Santos. He was like, Santos. Yeah, he's like, instead of doing wrestling, I'm just going to outstrike this dude who's supposed to be this great striker, right? And he did. And it was a very close victory, but it's different when you take into consideration. And yeah, we can go back and forth like, but ultimately, what's the most impressive is saying that I'm so good, I don't even want to use my best weapons, man. I'm going to use your best weapons and beat you still. So what Valentina Shevchenko did in the first round of that Jennifer Maia fight, she took Jennifer Maia down by countering her with a hip toss within the first minute of the fight, and she ground and pound for the entire round, right? Second round, what happens? Jennifer Maia, she comes in with pressure. What does Valentina Shevchenko do? She blasts a little hook, uses that to get the clinch, and then hip toss, get her on the ground, right? Now, it backfired, and Jennifer Maia won the second round, but ultimately, what I saw was Valentina Shevchenko entering that territory and just saying, I'm just going to beat you at your game. You're this big Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. All right, what's up? Let's see what you can do, right? So I just think that Valentina Shevchenko is looking for ways to challenge herself at this point, because that's the narrative that we're saying, right? We're saying, oh, well, how is she going to motivate herself? When you're the champion, it's hard to motivate yourself. But I'll tell you what the biggest motivation is, keeping that gold around your shoulder. That's what the biggest motivation is. So I think there is absolutely no lack of motivation right here for Valentina Shevchenko. But listen, the person she's fighting, man, is no slouch. And as we saw with the Rose Namajunas fight, she can be, or the first Rose Namajunas fight, she can be out of the fight the entire fight and still win, because she has one punch knockout power. Rose said it herself. She says that with Jessica Andrade, I've never been hit like that before in my entire life. No one has hit me the way that Andrade has. And listen, man, Andrade is a little wrecking ball, man. So the odds right now, AJ, you tell me what you think about this. Just let's not forget that at the time, I think by the actual fight, Valentina Shevchenko against Jennifer Maia, she was like a minus 2,000 favorite. Something fucking crazy, right? Minus 450 favorite with a comeback of plus 350 for Jessica Andrade, the former strawweight champion, four-time performance of the night winner, four-time performance of the night winner, four-time fight of the night winner. Did you know? Bata Esteca, she has the most fights in women's MMA history, man. So Valentina Shevchenko is not playing around. She's right. So Angela Hill is right behind her at 17. Jessica Andrade has 18 professional fights in the UFC, man. It's incredible. It's incredible. But She does have a couple disadvantages that generally she has in every single one of her fights, right? She's got a 4-inch height disadvantage. She's only 5'1", 62-inch reach, and she had all these disadvantages at strawweight. And then she said, I'm going to move up a weight class and go see what I can do. So you tell me, AJ, man, where do you see this fight taking place? Do you think that Valentina has the stones, has the cojones to say, I'm taking your ass on the ground. Let's fucking rock. Because on one hand, it can nullify the power and it can kind of tire out Andrade. But on the other hand, Andrade is a BJJ black belt, man. You don't want to play on the ground against her. So what do you think?
Yeah, this one to me, Derek, this is the match where I'd be most shocked if it ends up as new, because Valentina Shevchenko has just been on such a tear. But Jessica Andrade, let me take a pause back and go back. What is it? I think it's either one or two of Jessica Andrade's fights. I called her a little Vanderlei Silva, and she has proven me to be completely true. She is literally dropping people with both hands. We saw the Chukagian body hook, man, that just literally made her scream like she had like an appendix burst or something, you know. But then Jessica Andrade, I think, needs to do that, apply that pressure, hit her with something hard, get on the inside, get that clinch going, but also just dirty box. Give the old adage to me in this fight, and what I'm hoping as a fan happens, is the old adage stay true, where you got to brawl a technical fighter. And if Jessica Andrade can get on the inside, brawl, not get hurt, but hit Shevchenko like she hit Rose Namajunas, where she's never felt that in her entire life. Like, bro, I just got hit by a man, but this woman is 5'1". Like, what the fuck? How is that power there? I think that right there needs to happen. But personally, I see this fight being controlled a lot by Shevchenko, really taking advantage of the height aspect, going in, and then whenever Andrade comes in, rushes in, she's just going to take her down, put the thing to her, put the belt on her waist, you know, hold her to the ground, beat her up. It's to me kind of hard for Andrade, just because Shevchenko has just been so dominant. We haven't even seen anybody kind of sweat her except for that second round in the Mai fight, and then we saw the rest of the fight. She'd literally just change the entire narrative. Yeah, I hope that answers your question where I think it's going to go.
No, ultimately, you did answer the question, man. I think Jessica Andrade does have an opportunity to win this fight, man. So I see it going two ways, AJ. I see that on one hand, Andrade has the perfect style for Valentina to just pick her apart from the outside. On the other hand, Valentina has this tendency to sit there, wait. And when she does get her strikes, she kind of will like get into that clinch. And it's just this natural habit, kind of like what we saw against Justine Kish with Tracy Cortez, where it's like, why are you clinching? Like, no, don't. But it's just like her natural tendency is to get in there, clinch up. And if she does that, Jessica Andrade not only could smash her with the body shots, because you're absolutely right, she has crippling body shots, but she also slam Valentina on her head like she did against Rose Namajunas, right? We saw that multiple times. Andrade had her arm threatened with the Kimura lock, out of that kind of like pickup position, and multiple times she says, I don't care, I'll just smash you, like I will risk my arm, I'll just smash you, it doesn't matter. But this is the thing, man. I think that Valentina Shevchenko, right, I think a finish here is very unlikely, but it can happen. And the reason why it's unlikely is because Valentina Shevchenko is a very highly decorated kickboxer before she made her MMA debut, and she had a kickboxing record of 57-2. You know how many finishes she had out of those 57 wins, AJ? Take a guess if you could.
Out of 57 wins, I would honestly guess maybe under 10.
4.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. 4 knockouts. So I think she is a decision fighter, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. She's also a master of sport in Muay Thai, Taekwondo, boxing, kickboxing, and a black belt in judo. 3-time performance of the night winner, 4 successful title defenses, man. It's going to be a long night at the office for Jessica Andrade if she can't land that big blow. And ultimately, Valentina is a southpaw. Jessica Andrade is orthodox. So if a knockout does happen, AJ, I'm going to predict it now. Valentina, she's going to spam that body kick, you know, because it's open all day when it's southpaw versus orthodox. She's going to land that body kick bunch of times, get Andrade thinking about the body kick, and then land that Jessica I head kick. Put her out. I think that if a knockout does happen, that is exactly how it will happen, but I don't anticipate that happening because Jessica Andrade, she has, out of her 29 career fights, she's only been knocked out 3 times, which is very impressive, man, because she's fought killers. So at the end of the day, AJ, listen, man, 5 straight title defenses on the line for Shevchenko, or 5 title fights for Shevchenko in her last 5, 2 of them for Andrade. It'll be a great fight, man, but I do think we will be hearing and still at the end of that one, AJ.